to realize that youths are coming to terms with the current governance in the country and the world at large. And also, Not Too Young to Run bill is a clamor for the youths in this country to come together and to take part in the governance of this country. In other words, to participate fully in the affairs of the government of their own country. In the past, right from 1960 up to this present administration, the leaders of yesterday, they were youths like us. They had every opportunity to rule this country. But as time goes on, there have been changes, transformation here and there, to the extent that the elders or the leaders of today no longer see the youth as part of this governance. Because of this exclusion, there was a need for us youth to come together and then speak with one voice. That was why there was a need for us to initiate this bill, Not Too Young to Run. Not Too Young to Run was a kind of a process that the bill, that the youth felt that the age requirements as put in place by the Constitution was kind of over and above their requirements. That was why we voiced out our grievance, and we felt that the government must hear us this time around. As God Almighty will have it, we were able to succeed. But the fact is that the bill has been passed. The challenges we have at hand is not just about just passing the law, but for the government to give us a helping hands, and also for the youth ourselves to come together and make sure that we marshal out our goals and then set up modalities of how we're going to take over the country. At least put it on that perspective.
Okay. Prince, you are one of them.
Thank you.
You asked for this thing and the government gave it to you. How far so far? Have the youths been showing interest? Have they been participating actively in political activities such that they can be considered?
I want to say for me, the youths have always participated in political activities. It's been, we have always been the canvassers, the mobilizers and the mobilized. You know, and negatively, most of the thuggery and all of that has kept this government and various administration going has come from the youth. But now we're looking at changing the perspective. Let's change the narrative and bring in vibrant young people. Let's rehabilitate the minds of youth to tell them no. Now, you know, we're happy that our vote now counts. So there's need for youth to let go of, you know, negative vices in society and come together and tell themselves. You know, 75% of the population of society is centered on young people. And so if we find young people deciding the fate of other young people and giving them leadership and direction, then we'll come together. Yes, there have been a couple of young people coming out from various political platforms, parties, and also young people vying various offices, and you see that the agitation and then the national awareness of young people knowing that there's need for youth to get involved. You know, we are always been told that we are leaders of tomorrow, but now we're changing the narrative that we're leaders of today, so we can be better leaders tomorrow. You know, we have to practice and be part of governance. You know, a philosophy I always love to use, which I created, usefulness in youthfulness. How useful are you while you're a young man or a young lady? So we need to come together, and we have been coming out. There's a lot of consultations ongoing. I'm also consulting for the Federal House of Representatives of my federal constituency. You know, there's need for job creation. There's need for, you know, and the people who suffer most in society are young people. So let's give them that hope and sense of belonging. Let's create jobs for our fellow young people, because we understand the language and the plight of the people. Those who have involved in negative vices and who are in various prisons are young people. And probably because some of them don't have sense of belonging, some of them have lost it, there's no hope. No expectation, no zeal. Unemployment issue is high. No skills for those who are not educated. Those who want to go into entrepreneurship development need some basic funding, grants, and training. So we need the youth, you know, listening and, you know, and getting involved, and so we can solve the problems of the young people.
Barrister, Prince said there are people, youths now, vying for or showing interest to vie for certain political offices. Are you satisfied with the number of people, youths, that are actively participating in politics vis-a-vis the number of youths that are engaged in political thuggery and other vices?
You see, like I've said earlier, we have always taken part in politics. We have been part and parcel of politics from the word go. The problem is that the elders don't see us as politically mature to take governance in our own hands. Like he has rightly said, we are vibrant youths that have what it takes to rule this country. All we are saying, give us opportunities. Let's think about the talks. Talk about the youths. Who use them? The politicians, the elders. Now we have realized that some of us are politically matured. We know what it takes. We can rule this country as well. All we are asking for, let the atmosphere be smooth for all of us to participate. We don't need anything. What does it take? All we're asking for the government, subsidize the political process. For the fact that you have passed this bill into law, that is not enough. Political parties, in such a way, they have kind of privatized the political system, in the sense that unless you have these financial resources at your disposal, that's when you can go into politics. That fear has been instilled in our minds. But some of us are saying, no, with or without, we can go into politics. All we need to do is to orient the people at the grassroots, to do mobilization, to create awareness, to give ourselves the confidence that we have come on board, and we are ready to take charge of the affairs of our own country. Whatever we do today, you're doing it for the youths. For so many decades, the others have been on the seat of power. What difference have we to show? And in most cases, the people they use in directing the affairs of the country are the youths. We are saying, give us a chance to take governance at our own hands. And if you look at the number of the people coming out to say we want to participate, there are many. Like you say, I'm my own constituency for House of Reps. But what we hear day and night is, why can't you just go for a lower position? People feel we don't have the requirement constitutionally. I've satisfied the age requirement. Then what is the fair all about? People,
you mentioned monetization of the polity. Are you, or is he telling us that yes, we have not too young to run bill, but the youths are too broke to contest?
Well, I will come from a different perspective. I'm not arguing with what he's saying, but I want to say that the power is taken, it's not given. And there's that consciousness that we must have as young people to understand that we should talk to ourselves. I'm glad he talked about sensitization. Yes, the youths are getting aware. There's this very, high level of awareness that we now have in the society, where young people now understand that they suffer most. They are deprived, marginalized, no provisions for young people, no encouragement. So youths now know that they have to take the bull by the horn. They need to reinvent and come together to have one voice. Youths are beginning to come together to understand that they are being used as tools to achieve personal interest, not the interest of the people. So we young people are coming up today to say, come, let's change the way things are done. At this level, you can understand that I'm a young growing man. I'm not thinking of retirement. I have a future. Every opportunity given to me today is an opportunity to serve. So someday, as a visionary leader, young man that I am, I have to lead myself so I can lead others. But how do I lead others if I've not led myself? I need to understand that if I seek a position today, one day I'll go back to the owners of the mandate, the people, and seek for continuity. So if I've not done better, then I'm the one destroying my political future because I cannot be given an opportunity. But over time, what I call a lot of politicians, they are accidented politicians. They are not prepared for leadership. They're just given an opportunity and a platter of gold, and they jump into it and take advantage. But when you're a leader, you know that you have track records. What are your antecedents? What have you been faithful in? So that you can be faithful in much when you're given the much opportunity. So we are now saying that resources or no resources, we're talking to our young people. And our young people are listening to us. And some of us have said, with or without resources, we need to bring an end. Because I have children growing up. I'm looking at a future for my generation yet to born. I'm looking for legacy. I want to serve. There must be someone who will sacrifice for the good of others. Let's think about the good of the people. Power and governance is of the people. So the people must come together, especially the young ones, and tell themselves, come, whether there's money or no money, let's follow. If we have the highest population in society, so if young people begin to follow young leaders, then young people will begin to retire old leaders and consult old leaders for the advice that they need. Because, like I said, usefulness in youthfulness. How useful are you when you're young? Where the vibrancy, the intellectual property, the eloquence of a young man, and the ability of a young man to know that he has to serve. And there's an age you get to, that once you hit 50, you start thinking of retirement. At that point, the young man is thinking about him. I know a man of 50 is thinking about himself. But as a youth, he's thinking about legacy. He's thinking about service. Service to a people. From 25 to 45 is service. But once you're clocking 50, you start thinking about what to go back home with. That's the mentality. So we must also look at the mentality of the age, of not too young to run. Why youth should be given an opportunity. We want to redefine our generation. We want to be able to, I speak uses of opportunity. I want to thank you for this platform. A lot of young people out there, they're looking for platforms to air their mind. So it's a platform you've also given to us to talk to our brothers and sisters. And we've been doing it in every platform that we have. We must come together as youth. This society belongs to us. It's a gift from God Almighty. And someday we'll move from one generation to another. So let's not sell our vote. Let's hold and sacrifice, because there's no amount of money that is enough. But when you have institutions, working standards, principles, people with capacity, you are glad to know that if you do not get paid today, you're going to get paid for who you are by serving your people, that there are jobs created for you, that you have an idea and there are banks to give you grants, loans, government agencies working, not empowering those who don't deserve it, but empowerment going to the basics, the people. So we are happy, and we're saying at this point in time, whether resources or no resources, we're coming out to say no, enough is enough. We must come out and represent our people and come up with productive ways of governance and adding value to society. Thank you.
Barrister, what is your assessment of the role played by political parties in giving the Nigerian youths the space to actualize their dreams?
No, like I've said earlier, in the past there were few political parties, and the mentality is that everyone was going to identify with the ruling political party or the party that has produced candidates for an elections. So if you're not there, it means you're going nowhere. But now I think we're having many political parties coming on board now. Now with the coming of political parties, many youths feel now they have the opportunities to explore. Now with the presence of political parties, I feel very much safe that with or without the ruling parties or other political parties, the new political parties are giving the youth now the hope to aspire. So these platforms, political platforms, is an avenue for me and other youths to showcase their talents without having much fear. I'm very much sure every political party will want to win an election. And by the time they begin to identify that this youth, this is a very vibrant youth, this man has a blueprint, this man can deliver, I think even if he doesn't go to the political party, the party should even follow that young man. Like I said, most politicians don't have blueprints, they just want to govern. And by the time they go there, they don't believe. Who believes that governance is all about the people? I think the party itself should even consult that particular candidate because it's all about service delivery. So with the political parties that we have on board, I think we have the opportunity to explore without having any fear of whether APC or PDP or whatsoever. Like he has said, all we need to do right now is sensitization. We've been doing that. Money is not just what determines leadership. The grassroots is the problem. To our assessment, not too young to run, is very popular in the urban centers, in the urban areas, among the privileged elites. But we need to go down the drain, the grassroots area, where we have the mass voters, where you have the local people. They need to be mobilized, they need to be sensitized. There should be need for political education, political culture. That awareness should be created on their heads. That what we want to do in this country is good governance. It's only when we have good leadership that we can address basic problems. When we have bad leadership, how to address problems? In fact, what we have in this country, the problem we have in this country is all about leadership. When we have very credible leadership that is very, very objective and fair in terms of assessment, you have no problem with governance. When you have bad leadership, you don't have anywhere to go. And this stems out from the problems of how we elect our political leaders. Like I said, every candidate should have a strong ideology, should have a very strong blueprint. What I want to govern, what I want to be there. As a lawmaker, as a governor, as a president, what are my visions? What are the missions? What are the blueprints? What are the problems and the prospects? What are the solutions? How do I solve these things? If you don't have this, if you don't have this kind of ideas, you have nowhere to go. It's not about ideas. We have to be realistic in actions. So I think we must come together and act as men of thought to serve this country. And lastly, the youth, whatever it takes, we shouldn't be intimidated by money bags. No. What matters is the destiny, the future lies in our own hands.
How can we get the youths in the rural areas where Doma said the youths are in the majority? How can we mobilize them? How can we instill in them the culture of supporting our own, the culture of participating in political activities?
Yeah, I want to say that the problem is the primaries. Because the people in the grassroots, or the youths in the grassroots, all have followers. And there's no ideological mind frame they have to follow their own vision. So they have people who own them, who just go there, and they're used to the same language. You know, but at this point in time, I want to say that the agitation has gone beyond our environments. The grassroots is feeling the agitation because young people are seeing the sufferings they're going through. There are a lot of youths who constantly have seen that there's no hope. So when they find young, vibrant youths who know the language, like my colleague have said, we're young people, so we know how to talk to our fellow youths. You know, availability, accessibility, you know, that's leadership. You know, youths that are tired of people coming during elections, take advantage of them, and then go. Now they're looking at who has been with them. What's the level of engagement the person has with them? What has the person done over time to encourage them, to support them? Money is not really everything, you know, but service, capacity. The character of a man is what defines the man. And you're able to lead by your track records and the way you're able to put your blueprints together. So they should be able to see practical blueprints because, first of all, they are tired of people who come tell them stories. Will do this, and when they get there, they don't do it. Now they want to see the young man who has been there, who is always with them, who engages them, who supports them, who talks to them, who creates sense of belonging that they can have a conversation with them. And we're doing it. I want to say that the grassroots is not the grassroots we used to know. But at this point in time, what we are pleading is that the delegates owned by most of these leaders are the problem, because without the party's nomination, but I'm also happy with what he said. You know, we don't find political parties coming up that young people are behind. Most political parties have emerged. You know, you find young people being critical, you know, contributors to the growth of those political platforms. So now it means that you have a platform that you were there when it was created. You have a name in the platform. So it means that politics has gone beyond we jumping into platforms. We don't know how it was created. We're never there when it happened, when it took place. We were followers from the background. Now we are running political platforms and political parties that many have come up that were even there. And even the big political parties, the ruling political parties, are also seeing needs to bring in young, vibrant people. Most delegates have gone through in my council ward and in my federal constituency are young people. So I have a opportunity to talk with them and they can understand. And now you begin to see young, vibrant, educated people who are delegates. So they know that, okay, selling their destiny will not give them a better future or a productive tomorrow. So they are looking at what they can offer, and that service is based on what you have to bring to the table.
What will you tell the Nigerian youths as we approach 2019?
Three words I'll tell Nigerian youths. Look for right leadership based on credibility, based on competence, based on antecedents. This should be the features that you find in a leader. And more so, what matters most is for us to speak with one voice. It's for us to have that unity of purpose. It's for us to come together and keep our sentiments, religion, tribalism, and what have you. All this should be set aside. All should be after is credible leadership. This country is our own country. If it goes bad, it affects us directly. If good, it affects us directly. So I think this should be what the youth should be concerned.
I quite appreciate you people. Thank you for coming on Political Update.
Thank you very much.
How I wish you will continue, but time will not permit us. This we end it here, and we are very grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, says it will field a presidential candidate in the forthcoming 2019 general elections. Board of Trustees of the party took the decision at a meeting held in Oka, Anambra State.
The secretary of the board, Alhaji Sani Shinkafi, noted that the party has resolved to zone the presidential ticket to the north, while the vice presidential candidate will come from the southeast. He said, ABGA, having been founded on the principles of rule of law, has a solution to the socio-political problems facing the nation.
With this, we know we are not joking. We are going through election. We are not coming out as a joker. We are not coming out as scholars. But we are coming out to make the central government in 2019.
Alhaji Shinkafi maintained that the party will field qualified candidates and also achieve their vision of forming a central government in 2019. The last time APGA fielded a presidential candidate was during the 2003 and 2007 presidential elections, when the founder of the party, late Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, was the party's flag bearer.
The All Progressives Congress, APC, in Rivers State has promised to work assiduously for the victory of the party in the 2019 general elections. This was at the party's Orashi Region Mega Rally held at Omoku, Rivers State, in honor of the Minister of Transportation and leader of the party in the state, Right Honorable Chibuike Rotimi Amechi.
Our leader getting action.
Orashi region comprises 4 local government areas in Rivers State. The rally is to further affirm the commitment of the party members to the success of the APC in the forthcoming elections.
I can also assure you right away, just like this celebration is on your faces, just like you are dancing like this, come 2019 May, so shall we rejoice.
We still have just a few days more to register to vote. Anybody who is up to 18 who has not registered in the 4 local government areas in the Orashi region should please go and register.
The state chairman of the APC, Ojukaye Flag Amakri, saluted the steadfastness of party members.
In 2019, Buhari will win as our president. In 2019, APC will win the governorship seat.
High point of the rally was reception of new entrants from the PDP into the APC. The defectors were assured of equal rights and privileges in the party.
The 2 weeks extension granted by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for continuous voter registration as well as collection of permanent voter cards has been described as one of the steps by the Commission to build upon the restoration of electoral integrity under the present administration.
Section 10, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2010 as amended empowers INEC to embark on continuous voter registration. The exercise is designed to update the voters register with the registration of citizens who turned 18 after the last registration exercise or those who couldn't register in previous exercises. In the current political dispensation, the exercise commenced in April 2017 and was to end on the 17th of August 2017. The Commission says it registered over 12 million voters between then and the 17th of August this year, before extending the exercise to August 31st, 2018. This decision is to enable more eligible registrants to maximize the opportunity.
This is the network service of the NTA.
I get to do this feeling got me falling. That has something they give me for body.
My God, 2020
I've been searching for the right thing. Girl, I wanna love you well. I know you fell in love, but nobody got you. When I got to your body, oh, my baby, this is my thing, yo. Become clean like me coming on my video. me come through like a soldier. She give me tea and she pleasing my rosa.
Zaga Gaza.
Master plan on the beat.
Stop. You be soft. Still cute, yeah. Still mama. Mr. is here. Baby, you be soft.
Soon I love you once, I go give you an abundance. Carry me for chest like a pendant. If you go back to our secondary school days, I will stand for you so you will ever miss attendance. Maybe I will open up when you see. I will tell everybody, can't come in like WC. Maybe beside the line, ain't too sweet. Ever since I met you, my whole world is juicy. Your body is a girl like bomb. Makeup or flick, slow queen. I'm a tongue stop it. I wish so impossible. Make I say myself, carry the money, well I put it on top. Wait, faith, before my chest share. I pull on my eyes, then my chest share. See as body soft like homeless. 69p, carry for head like helmet.
Soft, you be soft. Yeah,
I'm a tongue
soft.
See mama.
Baby, you be soft. Yeah. Only you will do me better. Baby, make you draw me nearer. I dey do you, be my lover. Only you go make me better.
One for my mom, two for my baby. No matter how my stubborn should be for lady. Everyone is balancing first with the fire marwa. One of me I tell you that's what I'm most of all you do. Vanessa always high me like high grade. Carry me move up and study balance and grade. Mama back with your friend and another day. Girl will look me up here and say mommy can't sit me now. Maybe after my girls are close, come and jam. When I show mistake, when I feel like the first time. Our red temp every day, come on, soft, everything soft. I feel like I've got food, now you be the salt. Lay out to your government, show you by the soft. So by the Thursday, can I register the boss?
Soft, you be soft. Soft, baby, I like you be soft. Only you go do me better. Baby, make you draw me nearer. Be my lover. Only you can make me better. My baby, pretty baby.
Easy, que deixa eu tô olhando love y'all.
Let's get up.
For like my love, where you there? I don't define you everywhere. Anywhere you there, make me come back home. Yeah. I don't miss you for this place. My mama asked me, I tell I'm saying I you. She say you be back up, say you be Yoruba, I tell I'm saying I you. Party bomb, she na person wife. She no find no but na person chiquito. She no classy but na person darling. They think yellow say na person honey, oh yeah. Oh, say That's what I call you. Say, who God don't bless, who God don't bless, no man can cause, no man can cause. Who God don't bless, who God don't bless, no man can cause, no man can cause. Fine girl, no pimple. Looking at you, you're so simple. I just want you to know you deserve the best, you're beautiful. For your love, I would give anything I get, I would give anything away. Nobody can take you away from me, I swear, like it. Fatty bum bum, she not person wife. She no fine up, but not person chiquito, yeah. She no classy, but not person darling. Dirty girl, say na person honey, oh yeah. Oh, say Irawo, Irawo. Oh, Irawo, Irawo. That's what I call Irawo, Irawo. Say, oh, Irawo, Irawo. Say who God don't bless, who God don't bless, no man can cause, no man can cause. Who God don't bless, who God don't bless, no man can cause, no man can cause. For like a night, where you did, I don't define you everywhere. Anywhere where you there, make you come back home. Jay, let's go.
Jay starts mixing.
I'm totally now. Baby, forever. Girl, I wine so different. Girl, I wine so different. Girl, I wine so different. We keep it 100, yeah, we never breathe.
Hey, hey, I think Malum, you know I'm coming for your whole cheddar. I think Malum, you ain't a miss, no better. I'm with your cousin. You already know me, I'm a winner. Imam, independent nigga. I promise I will always get my mullah. Wanna be kogafa, I cholo and I kucha. Onwe kisi susu, I da gide katipa. Iga sina idi bruta, iga sina ide bucha. No puni wala number, I get tiki taka. I think Kimala with the realest in the city and my man, you cannot kucha, ain't ready for the next drop though. I think Kimala, baby, you know I'm coming for your whole cheddar. Hey, I think Kimala more. You ain't a miss, no better. Mama, my name Malamama. Mama, my name Malama. Mama, my name Malamama. Mama, my name Malam. I'ma always give. Cause when you give, they say you always receive. But I don't give a rat size, so you is my girl. I don't you quiet, I know what Japanese. My heart's in my witness, you already know this. When they roll out, they see me in. I'm from Bubble 6's. I'm the business in this, mind your own business. Baby, please close your eyes, you don't need to see this. I'm gonna get it in, don't need to like try. The one on the bed, the bed, the never have. I'm on your alarm, sick and tired of my man. I didn't my belly, I'd rather fuck you up instead. All the time I city, you see the vibe that I'm bringing. I came and saw and I come for the odds of staring. I'm leaving the bubble bumping, and the pills I'm gonna go for bumping, and the drinks and be careful who you stepping. I take a shot, you're feeling. Hey, all the Kimalam. Hey, baby, you know I'm coming for your whole cheddar. Hey, all the Kimalam. You ain't a miss, no better. Mama, my name Malamama. Mama, my name Malamama. Mama, my name Malamama. Mama, my name Malam. Hula Balu. Mo
bá màálù. Èmi gbádùn o, bèrè fàárù. Àmì Jésù, mo máa ṣe jù. Mo ní ṣubú, ẹlẹ́bínú. See me in the elevator, niggas must be getting jealous. I don't even take a note of, I just put my blessing motion. Set the roof on fire, nigga, watch me going higher, nigga. My bitches in Ghana, nigga, Bafana, nigga. I'm the president. 9:30, it's time to roll. I'm with the flex, no be magical. Tell them boys they can't catch me, yo. Oh yeah, Dabi, yo. Kamikaze, yo. Lashakari, yo. Ijebu Wambi, yo. Had to get me a Porsche, yeah, got me a Porsche. Now my baby they flush the money for the month, yeah. Oh, the Kimalum, baby, you know I'm coming for your whole cheddar. Oh, the Kimalum, you ain't on me, no better. Mama, money, malamama. Mama, money, malama. Mama, money, malamama. Mama, money, yeah, yeah. I am me. That's it on 5 Express. I am me. Money, malam. Naughty mix.
Do you say that to your lover? Nothing is deeper than love. Yeah, you drove me and you left me.
This is what you want. You really serious when you do
it's not working. Can't see get it rapper. You leave me for no you. See I'm emotional just because of you. Thoughts will last forever, but it don't carry you go. Sorrow, be sorrow, be sorrow. Turning one day to do. Don't love it to do. She just be acting for me. Sorrow, be sorrow. Turning one day to do. Don't love it to do. She just be acting for me. Yeah, you know, see, you're the only one I love. Now you wanna leave me for another man. See, that's why not be the plan. See, if you want kill me, cuckoo kill me. Cause if you leave me, don't buy me. See now who up the light? Cause I know they see anymore. Nobody gonna love you like I love you. If I miss you, I go see Ruelago. But you love me like I love you, baby, sorrow. Now you leave me for the robber. Come they make me the cry. Sorrow, be sorrow. Don't need what I do. Oh, love and do. She just be acting for me. Sorrow, be sorrow. Don't need what I do. Oh, love and do. She just be acting for me, yeah. Sorrow, be sorrow. Don't need what I do. Oh, love and do. She just be acting for me. Sorrow, be sorrow. Don't need what I do. Oh, love and do. She just be acting for me, yeah.
Exclusive. Dr. Mighty. It is Superstar DJ.
She's Ghanaian, her mother from Accra, her father from Osu, her mommy my Maserati, I go buy you Bugatti, just to tell you, Medasi, Kole Daddy, Kole Daddy, yeah. She's Ghanaian, her mother from Accra, her father from Osu, her mommy my Maserati, I go buy you Bugatti, just to tell you, Medasi, is this love that I'm feeling? Osu girl, wanna pop me, oh, now. Oh, no.
Give me love.
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 Give me love. Killer day if I carry your mama and papa to oversee. I carry to oversee. Made them Maya, Mofana, me kedu. When they equally why my juju. When they ask I juju. Wish I can love them bling. She's Ghanaian, her mother from Accra, her father from Osu, her mommy my Maserati, I go buy you Bugatti, just to tell you, Medasi, is this love that I'm feeling? Osu girl, wanna pop me, oh.
It is Superstar DJ. Give me love.
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 Give me love. Shake it.
Come on for the
Roach Beach.
Don't say that. Don't say that if you fall for me, I go for your hand, oh baby. Don't say that. That when you're not around, I go sleep around, oh baby. You don't need to say these words, cause me I don't know what's in there for your mind.
For a long time, girl, I've been waiting. I've been really waiting for me to do what's on my mind. Girl, I go give you jara. I give you love on top, extra love on top, and I go give you jara. I give you love on top, extra love on top. Oh, your wife for the back. Go down, for the back, go down. Come around for the back, hey, lose for the back. Hey, wife for the back. Go down, for the back, come around for the back. Hey, lose for the back.
Don't do that. Why you request you back when me I get it too fast, baby? Don't do that. Why you don't do like that? Baby, for you I go spend stacks. So, girl, I love only you, no doubt. I know you don't say. Don't need to say these words, cause me I don't know what's in there for your mind. Slay mama.
I'm a long time, girl, I've been waiting.
Girl, I've been waiting.
love on top, extra love on top, and I go give you jara, jara. I give you love on top, extra love on top. Yeah, oh your wife for the back, go down for the back, go down, come around for the back, lose for the back. Yeah, wife for the back, go down for the back, go down for the, come around for the back, come around for the, lose for the back. Oh yeah, come for the back, back. I've been waiting on you like a patient dog. Cause me, I want to chop the fattest bone. Baby girl, would you be my number one? Cause now you carry first, you dey talk them all. Girl, I love you, pass on you. You don't need to say these words, cause me, I don't know what's in there for your mind. Slay mama, slay mama. I'm not the girl I've been waiting. Girl, I've been really waiting, yeah, for me to do what's on my mind. Girl, I go give you jara, jara. I give you love on top, extra love on top, and I go give you jara, jara. I give you love on top, extra love on top. Oh your wife for the back, go down for the back, go down, come around for the back, come around for the back, lose for the back. Hey, wife for the back, go down for the back, go down, come around for the back, come around for the back, lose for the back.
Roach Beats.
You way I get to goosebumps all over. This feeling got me falling all over. Get as is something they do me for body.
Fine girl, turn it, tilla. Booty, oh, shimmy killer, oh, shimmy killer, oh, shimmy killer.
I've been searching for the right one. Girl, I wanna love you well. I know you fell in love. Girl, I am loving you for days. Anytime, call my name, be like I don't know.
Zuma Film Festival 2018 Abuja. Theme: Archiving for Creativity. Date: December 1st to 7th, 2018. Featuring film screenings, masterclasses, special tributes, NFC Annual Film Lecture, NFC Annual Essay Competition Awards, special national and state days, Lifetime Achievement Awards, and Zuma Film Festival 2018 Awards. Submission of entries for non-competition, competition and screening is ongoing and closes September 30th, 2018. All entries should be forwarded to the festival director, Zuma Film Festival Nigerian Film Corporation, headquarters in Jos, and or its zonal offices in Abia, Lagos, Kano, Asaba, Yola, and Abuja, or through the Film Freeway online platform www.filmfreeway.com. For further inquiries, call 0033146842, 08052728321, or 08063390420, or visit the website www.zumafilmfest.gov.ng. Zuma Film Festival 2018, December 1st to 7th, Abuja.
Nigerians' foremost.
In 1953, the Federal Institute for Industrial Research, Oshodi, FIRO, was established. Since then, FIRO has been engaged in research work, solving problems and discovering new ways to make life better for Nigerians. These discoveries and research findings must be made available to Nigerians, medium and small-scale enterprises, and the international community. And the vehicle to do this is FIRO House, Africa's first industrial TV reality show, produced and packaged by Lashon Links Limited. For details on how to be part of the show, please visit our website on www.firohouse.tv or call 081-873-55745. Lashon Links FIRO House, bringing Nigerian technology to your doorstep. This is the network service of the NTA.
These times in the history of our great nation calls for concerted effort of all to bring back the good old days of a united Nigeria, where our generation enjoyed values that made life easy, simple, and progressive. Where values that made all these happen hinged on a line in our former national anthem, which reads, and I quote, "Though tongue and tribe may differ, in brotherhood we stand," end of quote. Today, what revolves around us is visibly ethnicity and hate speech that has become pervasive in our society, so much so that it is widening the social distance among different ethnic groups that make up our country. Sadly, this has aggravated ethnicity, selfishness, religious hatred, which has the potency of causing serious crises in our nation-building effort. There is therefore an urgent need to do something about hate speech now. And that's our focus on this special edition of Bridges, as we deliberate on how best to curb hate speech, strengthening the divide on these options of either explicitly prohibit hate speech or embark on a deliberate national campaign to all, irrespective of tribe, religion, or status, to desist on whatever constitute hate speech. This is Bridges, working for a sustainable society. My name is Mujima Kojola, and this is a special edition of the program. There is therefore an urgent need to do something about hate speech now. That's our focus on this edition of Bridges, as we deliberate on how best to curb hate speech, strengthening the divide on these options of either explicitly prohibit hate speech or embark on a deliberate national campaign to all, irrespective of tribe. Peace Ambassador, so apt to have him here, Dr. Paddy Njoku, as always. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very
and
much.
representing us, the rest of us Nigerians, I have here vibrant Nigerians, men and women, who are ready to lend their voices to either stop or to find tools, strategic tools, that will bind us rather than what we have that is dividing us. So I'll just quickly go to the panelists, and any of you can really kick it off. When did we get here?
I think it's a reflection of the degeneration in our society as a whole. We've become a very lawless society. We don't respect basic rules of engagement, etiquette. Etiquette has totally broken down. Growing up, you learned in school to discuss in a civil manner. That's totally gone. People want to ram down their opinions on you and are not even ready to listen to you. And you cannot engage in meaningful discussion if there is no communication, and if people are not willing to listen, and if people are only willing to force their opinion violently, verbally, and so it's a reflection of where we are today as a country that has become generally lawless.
Is that your opinion?
Yes, but I must add that the youth have lost faith in leadership. When you lose faith in leadership, what do you expect? We've not been able to address the root cause of agitations or hate speech. And the root cause, if it's not tackled, there's no way you can think of building a healthy society.
Yeah, okay. So it's very fundamental. And sir, what are we hearing from you?
I think they've started it all well. We used to belong to literary and debating societies in schools, when we would prove to the other side that we could defeat them by force of argument and not by argument of force. And since 1966, when things started happening in this country by violence and immediate effect, unfortunately, after a generation, a generation is 50 years, the new generation has imbibed gradually this use of force. As somebody said, the thoughtless one, the thoughtful ones have yielded space to the thoughtless ones. The speakers have yielded space to the dumb and deaf, who normally use their fists. And unfortunately, we are heading towards a national collective death wish if we don't do anything to stop hate speech. Because hate speech everywhere is a precursor to mass killing and genocide. It happened in Germany, it happened in Rwanda, it happened in Burundi, it happened in RDC.
It's still there.
And it's still there.
Well, it happened here in 1966.
Because it happened here.
It's part of what created the problem in 1966.
From amnesia.
Yeah.
We had the experience, we had a pogrom, and those drum beats are starting again.
And we haven't learned from that.
Yeah. And we haven't learned from that. That's what I mean by amnesia, actually. We seem to have forgotten.
Yes.
So soon.
So soon. And yet it's with us. And so I'll just quickly go to members of the audience. I mean, the panelists have set the pace for us. And as much as possible, we know we have a problem. Now, going forward, and quickly too, we cannot wait.
No.
What do we do? Which way forward? Yes. Any of you can start. Yeah. Okay.
I think for a very long time, there was no issue of sanction, and hate speech was not punishable. And we've come to realize that hate speech is as a result of selfish interest. So I think there should be a punishable offense, and the leaders of this group should be held responsible. Because if we are not careful, I mean, we all know that hate speech can result to national security, and of course it can hamper the peace of a nation, and as well destroy national development. So the leaders of this group should be held responsible, and there should be a punishable offense in order to stop.
Should be a punishable. That's your opinion. Let's know you before you handle it. Yes.
My name is Helen Okon, publisher, CEO, Business Review Africa.
Thank you.
And also a member of the Media and Information Literacy.
Yes. By your side then. Yes.
Yes. My opinion is...
Let's know you first.
Okay, my name is Barrister Kehinde Edun. I'm the National Secretary of the Progressive People's Alliance, PPA. Yes, I think hate speech, if we look at it, it is a speech that is perceived to degrade a person or a group of people based on their religion, their tribe, their ethnicity, their sex, their height, their weight, and all this. And I think hate speech has always been here. We've always had it. But the problem now is the perception of the people. Because just as it is said that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, so also hate sometimes is in the ears of the listener, of the hearer. People are set on edge. And I think it is not justified. We may say that our people have been oppressed for a long time. They have been repressed. And because of that, they are set on edge. So they tend to react negatively. So there is hate in the heart of many people. And when there is hate in the heart, it is from the abundance of the heart that the mouth speaketh. Okay. And because hate is also in the mind of the hearer, so also whatever is said is perceived to be hate speech. So I think we should be cautious. Our people should be cautious, because if we are not cautious, the government will now need to now pass very draconian laws to be able to stem this trend. So I think though the people are angry, but we should be cautious so that our liberty is not further encroached upon, okay, and so that
I think
will not be encouraging it.
Yes, okay.
Thank you so much. My name is Kunle Shomoye. I'm a political consultant and a public affairs analyst. And from the perspective of the law, there's something my lawyer friend told me yesterday. He said there's mens rea and there's actus rea. The mens rea is the intention, something that has been intended, and it is shown in speeches consistently. And the actus rea, it is the action of that intended speech. So, in law, that hate speech should be punishable, because when you look at the people that are head of the game, there should be punishment for these people.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Ngozi Kenga, the chairperson of International Federation of Women Lawyers, Abuja branch. We're talking about hate speech. I think the bottom line is for us to go back to the drawing board. Moral values are gone, and gone with love. So we need to get back to that. And our politicians have so destroyed this country that they instigate the younger ones. In developed countries, things are put in place, and you are born into it. You are born into it. You will meet it, and that was how it was when we were born. When we were growing up, the family value is there. That you key into it. You are not taught. But when things began to change, like the father of Bridges said, that from the 1966, politics here and there, people are being instigated, the younger ones, because it is what you are taught as a growing child that you come up with. So, like others have said, we need laws that will actually regulate this cankerworm that is eating into our society, so that things can be done rightly.
My name is James Komolafe. I'm the senior consultant, Saba Clinics, which is a behavioral clinic. Looking at society, building society, and developing economies portends that every stakeholder, the government, the citizenry, should focus on strategies that will build the nation in pragmatic terms. I grew up from an environment of that old photography, the analog photography, where negatives are developed in the dark room. So if we must of necessity develop Nigeria and look for a new Nigeria as we build bridges, we must price so high the value of our individual and corporate emotional intelligences. I think that has nosedived so great. So we need to create new ecosystem, and that begins from our emotional personalities. How do we react to issues? Do we just say things are bad and we keep venting out and ventilating anger on the society? It will never build a sane and peaceful economy. So it begins from all of us. We have to go back to the drawing board and generate a new emotional ecosystem that will create the new reality that we are looking for.
Yes, at the extreme here.
Comrade Ame Samuel. I'm an advocate of youth and good governance and the national president of Igala Youth Congress worldwide. The youth have lost value. The government and the citizens are all guilty of hate speech. Hate speech is a scourge that must be discouraged. It portends a looming danger that we must not allow to foster longer in the society.
So which way forward?
The research so far, there are the two major factors of hate speech are religion and ethnicity. And as such, the religious leader and the ethnic leader must not instigate their followers. They must not incite their followers, and they must caution their followers in taking laws into their hands. And the government must...
This is very true, but again, it's a reflection of the fact that we do not have structures to hold people responsible for encouraging such demeanors in the society. And by that I mean, for instance, if a media platform is used in such a negative way, what are the repercussions? The structures that should be in place should be such that the media house is sanctioned or the persons directly involved are sanctioned. But you discover that nothing like that exists because the press council, for instance, which should be the main body responsible for ensuring that people are penalized for such misdemeanors, is virtually a toothless bulldog.
All right, yes. Let's go to the quickly, ma'am.
My name is Esther Omaka, Federation of Women Lawyer. I'm Assistant Secretary, Federation of Women Lawyer, Abuja. I just want to say there is no law at the moment that talks about hate speech, apart from the Section 39 that says about freedom of speech. I think parents, elders, religious leaders should be able to curtail this hate speech by speaking to the youth who are perpetrators of this. Because the youth listen to them, they fund them, and as a result of that, they go to the streets, destroying and causing trouble in the society. I believe that if there is law now, people will be able to stop this hate speech, and punishments will be upon anyone that violates the law.
Okay. Thank you. Right. Yes.
Right. Thank you. Just a moment. You asked a question before that. What is the way forward, right? And I also realized that because I'm a young person, and I use Facebook, I use Twitter a lot, and I've interacted with a lot of like minds, and I've also checked comment sections of news where I see the vituperations, and sometimes I just go to bed because it's too sad. Like there is no way we can fix this problem. Everyone is against each other at each other's throats. Every young person, and it's like they don't even know history. So the fact is, yeah, the acting president before the president came had already termed the word hate speech as an act that may lead to that is terrorism. So how do we, like social media, unlike the conventional media, that are being regulated, social media is not regulated. It's a chaotic world out there. So when the security in chief met with the president, the suggestions I believe they gave was that they will start to monitor certain words that should be flagged. And
that is also causing a bit of a problem there, because I was reading on, yes.
Yeah, I would like to say that what he has said is a reflection of a reality that technology goes ahead of laws. And this is a clear example of it, that the cyberspace is largely not regulated, like you had said. Yes. And therefore, it calls for rapid response. We need a rapid response because everybody now is a journalist, one way or the other. Everybody is a blogger. Everybody is a photographer. Everybody is a publisher, simply because digital technology has made it possible. And therefore, the immediate response is to create laws which may not even be laws that we've been familiar with in the past, because this calls for a whole new approach.
That's it.
Because we cannot continue with cyberbullying, fake news, which are the things that drive the hate speech.
Yes, at the back, please.
My name is Kunle Lawal. I'm National Publicity Secretary for Kowa Party. And I would like to draw a sequence to this whole system, this whole thing. First of all, what has really been done to promote unity in Nigeria? I remember growing up, I remember when Nigeria was 25. There's this theme song that still rings in my head till today. Nigeria is 25. But now there's nothing done to promote unity. So what would you have? You would have chaos. Second,
who are angry, people who feel like throwing bombs